Millions of people typed the exact same sentence within minutes of the final whistle. Rigged. Not disappointed, not gutted. Rigged. And before we decide whether that's true, we need to actually walk through what happened. Because this wasn't one bad call. It was 90 minutes, where almost every marginal decision seemed to bend the same direction. Egypt were flying. 2-0 up against the reigning champions, a stunning team goal finished off in style, shirt off, roaring in front of a stunned Argentina bench. Then the review booth got involved. Not a quick check on the finish, not even a look at the final pass. The video official rewound nearly the length of the pitch, back almost 20 seconds, to a shirt tug most people in the stadium never even registered live. Goal chalked off. And from that moment, the entire tone of the match changed. Here's what makes that call so hard to defend on its own terms. Days earlier, FIFA's own head of officiating had publicly told every referee at this tournament to let the game breathe, allow physical contact, keep flow, stop stopping football for nothing. And it had worked. Fouls per game were down compared to the last two World Cups. Then, out of nowhere, the video assistant referee goes hunting for exactly the kind of contact everyone had just been told to ignore. The reaction from people who actually analyze officiating for a living was almost unanimous. Broadcasters and former referees openly said this contradicted everything we'd seen all tournament, that you cannot wave away that level of contact for 89 minutes and then suddenly excavate it from half a pitch away to cancel a goal. One respected match official went further, arguing the build-up play gave Argentina every opportunity to win the ball back cleanly, which should have taken the review off the table entirely under the sport's own guidelines. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Late in stoppage time, scores level, Egypt surged forward and appealed furiously for a foul inside the Argentina box. No review, no monitor check, nothing. Argentina broke immediately at the other end and scored the winner seconds later. 2 shouts, same match, same officials, treated in completely opposite ways. Egypt's manager didn't hold back afterward, suggesting out loud that the tournament needed its biggest star to keep going. His striker was even blunter, accusing the referee of taking the result away from an entire country. So, is that proof? No, and it's important to be honest about that. There is a defense for both calls. Under the actual laws, a foul in the build-up to a goal can be reviewed no matter how far back it happened, and the contact for the disallowed goal, however marginal, was real. The missed penalty appeal happened inside the box, which carries a much higher threshold than a foul out on the pitch. Not enough contact for a spot kick doesn't automatically mean not enough contact for anything. 2 decisions, 2 different legal standards, producing results that only look identical from the outside. That's the uncomfortable middle ground here. It's not necessarily match fixing. It might just be a broken, inconsistent system, doing precisely what an inconsistent system does, creating chaos that looks like conspiracy even when it's closer to incompetence. And there's a harder truth Egypt has to sit with too. They were still 2 goals clear with barely 10 minutes left. Nobody forced their defense to lose a header from a set piece. Nobody made the equalizer or the last gasp winner happen. That was finishing of the highest quality, produced in real time, under real pressure. Egypt's own goalkeeper admitted afterward that mistakes crept in late. The collapse was real, independent of any refereeing decision.
But here's why none of that fully clears anyone. This same tournament has already burned through its credibility elsewhere. A red card suspension got reversed after political pressure from outside the sport entirely, something that had never happened at a World Cup before. Broadcast-driven changes to match structure were introduced and dressed up as player welfare. The organization has spent this whole event making decisions that looked like they served money and star power over consistency. So when a genuinely ambiguous call breaks in the same direction those other decisions did, Nobody owes the benefit of the doubt anymore. That doubt was spent weeks ago. That's really the story here. Not a smoking gun. There isn't one. What exists is a pattern so consistent, stacked on top of an organization with zero credibility left in reserve, that even neutral fans reacted with a tired shrug instead of shock when the accusations came out. And a shrug is a worse verdict for football's governing body than outrage would have been, because outrage assumes people still expect better. So where does that leave the actual football? Argentina move on into another knockout round, chasing back-to-back titles with their captain in tears of relief instead of despair. Egypt go home with the best World Cup performance in their history, their first knockout win, played at a level that will get replayed for years, and an equally permanent conviction that the biggest moment they were ever this close to reaching was taken out of their hands by a screen and a rulebook that didn't apply itself evenly. Was it fixed? Probably not if we're being strict about what that word actually means. Was it fair? That's a much harder question to answer with a straight face. And until the same institution starts applying its own standards the same way twice, that question isn't going away, not for this match, and not for whatever controversy is waiting in the next one.